The Portland Timbers 2025 season came to a close last night in San Diego, California, losing 4-0 to the top seed SDFC. The game, at least on paper, had deja vu to Decision Day. A 4-0 loss, a brace from Mal Pellegrino and Anders Schreier presented itself in both games. But the way the Timbers lost this one was awfully different. I'll get to that in the next segment, but overall, in the last 4 meetings with San Diego, all in the last month, the Timbers were outscored 12-3. And something needs to change before the start of next season.
The pain of the defeat is obviously, it's always there. Last year we got beat in the play-in. This year we're getting beat in the third game of the playoffs. So I'm sure in the cold light of day we'll say that there's been a slight improvement, but I'd say that the last 2 months have nowhere near been the level that's expected. We're not a team that should have finished in 8th, so that's a disappointment. We rallied in the playing game and we showed some spirit and belief. But I think what in these big games, it highlights the areas that we still need to improve.
All of San Diego's goals in this game were practically the same. They were able to exploit the space the Timbers left in behind because of the high defensive line and man-marking style they were deploying all over the pitch. And when the Portland Timbers lost 50-50 balls in midfield, it allowed a scoring chance for San Diego practically every time. Because Corey Barrett, a striker who did a good job with off-ball movement, would drag Finn Sermon with him, it left acres of space out wide when the fullbacks were further up the pitch. And that's how practically all of San Diego's goals came. And when they were darting up one wing, a dinked ball to the back post ended up in a goal, more often than not.
I think we made some mistakes, and San Diego find a way to put those balls in behind of our back line. And we can, stop in some situation, I think talking about this particular game, I think they find there's a space there. And at the same time, I think we cannot be effective in a front attack, because we create many opportunity to score. And I think because of that, we finalized the game losing 4-0.
The Portland Timbers had a few clear chances in the first half, and if they had any sort of shot in this game, they needed to convert those. Kevin Kelsey actually led the game in shots come the 45th minute with 5, and he had a good shot off the press in the 11th. Unfortunately, it was too low and right at Pablo Cisniega. Jimmer Forey had probably the best chance of the game for the Portland Timbers in the 27th, and it was, I don't want to say miraculously cleared off the line, but with the partnership of a defender and a goalkeeper, it was able to come off. And then Kevin Kelsey had a header at the near post in the 45+1 of stoppage time early on, and he wasn't able to convert that either, seeing his night come to a close early in the second half. Portland overall in this game had less shots on goal than San Diego did goals. And I know this is not a popular take that Timber fans want to hear right now. San Diego was beating any team in the league with how they played.
I just said to them in there, it wasn't probably about a system or a tactic. It was more about the mentality. It was they didn't beat us with good football. They beat us because they wanted it more. They run more, and that's on me. I take responsibility for that, and we need to be better.
San Diego was absolutely able to exploit the Portland Timbers on the wings, and too often there was emergency defending by Finn Sermon and Diego Chara, and if it wasn't for those two, this scoreline could have been uglier. Portland, while they were exploited in the wings out wide for the entirety of this season, their road form was exploited by the other teams in Major League Soccer. Of the 16 playoff teams in MLS, they had the worst point tally away from home, and of their 4 wins, 3 of them came in the first 2 months of the season. So that's from May to November. They were only able to grab 1 win on the road. That must improve in 2026 if you want a higher seed.
I never thought this game was going to be the same as Providence Park. I always thought it was going to be a little bit different. I thought in the first 20 minutes, we created 1 or 2 chances from crosses, from pressing the ball high up. But there has to be more commitment to what we do. And like I say, I take full responsibility. That's on me. It's on the selection of the team that I selected. And now we've got to go away. We've got to look at my own performance first, evaluate where that's at, and then we continue to make strides forward. Last year we came in, we thought we improved a little bit. This year we've improved a little bit, but I think the margins to improve need to be greater, and that's where my head's at this moment in time.
In the immediate future this week, GM Ned Grabavoy and Timbers head coach Phil Neville will speak to media on Thursday. a lot of questions that will be pressed against them, including the state of the roster. At least at current, it seems that Max Crepeau will not be with the team next year. His option will likely be declined, and a full roster designation I expect to be out likely before that meeting with Ned Grabovoy, so be sure to be locked into my social media and the Timber Review Patreon. We will have updates over there. But as for other players, key figures like David Ashala, Diego Chara, Christian Paredes, and Felipe Mora all have their contracts end but have a player option. Elsewhere, though, players like Dario Zuparic, Mati Rojas, and Felipe Carbajo are not Portland Timbers as of current unless they have a contract extension. As for the building blocks on the Timbers, David Ashala is obviously in that list as a center midfielder. And Finn Sermon. He is probably the number one name Timber fans are watching this offseason, making sure he is still in gold and green here at Providence Park come opening day of the 2026 season. But it is no secret that teams abroad are certainly interested in the services of the New Zealand international. Then in attack, you have your DPs in David Acosta, Jonathan Rodriguez, and Christopher Velde. And it's fairly certain that DaCosta, you have an expectation that he will be better in year two because he did not have a goal involvement after Leagues Cup. As for Christopher Velde, it was a bright end to the season in terms of 2 goals in 3 playoff games, but Game 3 was not his best. But he is somebody the attack should be centered around come 2026.
Long ball forward, Anthony trying to get in behind. He does! Tries to take it down. He goes down. The chance, it's in! Oh, what a super finish!
I think the Timbers' biggest issue this season, and something that San Diego personified on the opposite end, was picking an identity and sticking with it. You sort of have a clean slate now. You need to buy and sell with an identity in mind for 2026. If you want to be a counter-attacking team like Minnesota United and sit in a deep block, fine. If you want to play a 3 at the back and be wing-back focused like Cincinnati, fine. If you want to be this hyper-possession side, which I think is a little bit harder to do like San Diego, fine. But I say that because San Diego, 2 other players that started that game, Amal Pellegrino and Corey Baird, literally any team in MLS could have had them at the deadline, and they come in and they just perfectly fit into that San Diego setup and tactic style. As for Portland, there was too much difference from game to game. They need to pick an identity and stick with it and recruit with it for 2026.
I felt it for the last 2 months, so it's not something that I'm just dreaming or thinking up now. I felt that there has to be massive improvements from everything that we do, from the way that we've performed over the last 2 months, from the individual performance of certain players, from the and the availability of certain players in these big games needs to perform. So I think this off-season we're gonna continue to work as hard as we possibly can.
This will be the final Portland Timbers post-game report of the season. Of course, no more games, but coverage will still be in abundance for the next couple of weeks. I mentioned that press conference. I will be there in person on Thursday. And be sure to tune in to the Timber Review podcast. We will have 2 this week and likely 1 on the Patreon as well. And for the continuation of the offseason, if you are a fan of the podcast, please rate and review. It helps us a lot if you enjoyed it through the 2025 season. And we'll also be continuing a weekly podcast on the Timber Review Patreon for subscribers. And be sure to check out for articles from Adam Booker and myself. I've had a really good time covering the Timbers in 2025, and I expect to be back in 2026 as well. Talk to you soon on the podcast.